Hello, Councilmember Stewart.
Hi,
Hi, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you just fine.
You're a little bit quiet.
Is that a little better?
That's a little better, yeah. So we'll start in about 4 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
I asked him for a step stool. I'm just joking.
Good evening, Council. Tonight we have a work session that will precede an exec session, which will then be followed by our regular council meeting. And at this point, I would ask our clerk to, well, I guess we don't need an agenda. I mean, in terms of roll call, we're all here. We have Councilmember Stewart is on the phone, but at this point, I'd like to call this meeting to order. And our work session is one item, which is to update on the city manager's report on updates on our city council strategic framework. And council, when I'm not talking during a regular meeting, I'm going to wear a mask. When we go into that part, I will take this off. So, city manager, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is a different view. Since I've come to Chandler, I think it's the first time I've actually been at the podium. But that's why it feels a little different over here. But I do like to look at you straightforward and be able to see you better. Mayor and Council, you all approved the council strategic framework in June of 2019, so it's been a year. And I reported to you in December on the accomplishments for the first 6 months. Today, I'm set to provide you with another 6-month update that I promise will not be all about COVID-19. These past few months have been very busy for all of Team Chandler. We were the only city that did not officially close our doors, and we have continued to provide the fantastic services this community has come to expect. I am also going to show council some new and exciting things we've been working on regarding performance measures and some tools that we've been developing in-house, and some of my developers are sitting in the room with us today. I'm going to be talking about the accomplishments by the different areas, just as I did in December. So under the umbrella of infill and redevelopment, during the past 6 months, economic development has recruited over 1,200 new jobs for Chandler, even with the economy having somewhat been halted the past few months. We have conducted BR&E visits regarding 450 additional jobs for expansions and have so far secured projects expected to put over $22 million in capital investment into our community. When the fourth quarter numbers are final, this may be the best fiscal year that we've had in many years, and I really do appreciate Mike and Miranda and our economic development team for all the work they do in business attraction and retention. The City of Chandler downtown team secured proposals from developers on what we know as Site 6, and Spike Lawrence was ultimately selected to develop a 2-phase office project across from City Hall, and it included a hotel. The first phase of New Square opened, as well as the new Hilton Garden Inn, and I appreciate Spike Lawrence's partnership with the city to develop much needed office space. In the downtown, we have also seen 6 new restaurants open and a $14 million private investment by the Alexander and the Jonathan by George Oliver that will renovate these buildings into premier Class A modernized office space. In development services, we completed the draft of the ordinance amendment changes that came out of the Joint City Council Planning and Zoning Commission meeting last August. Those went to Council Subcommittee back in February, and these code revisions are currently scheduled to appear on your July Council agenda. In March, we also initiated the Air Park Area Plan update. These results will help guide development around the airport for years to come. There have been so many things happen in the areas of innovation and technology that I just simply cannot list them all on your slide. Matt's team, along with Sandeep's team, have been inundated with requests for technology and marketing needs due to COVID in the past few months. Economic development and others have also been working on several things under this category. To just name a few, we did launch the GIS-based interactive web map that allows businesses to notify people about the specials and/or job opportunities that are available. The I Choose Chandler campaign was launched recently and has gained great momentum across the city. Staff partnered with the IDA for PPE grants, and to date we have had 16 applications and awarded a total of $4,000. We have worked with partners such as Arizona at Work, Pipeline AZ, and Career Connectors on the virtual job fair that began this week. And Mayor, I know you were part of that. CAPA launched the COVID-19 website that has had more than 55,000 views to date. Our awesome video team completed the 2020 State of the City videos, and CAPA did a great job involving local businesses in the State of the City event. The 2020 census has seemed to take a back seat to COVID, but staff from Neighborhood Resources, Development Services, and CAPA continue to push the completion of the census. I personally serve as the co-chair of MAG's Regional Census Communication Group, and I would encourage anyone who might be watching this presentation to get out and talk to their neighbors about the importance of the census in Chandler. Let's rally strong and hope that we get everyone counted in our community. CAPA also produced a fantastic Memorial Day video that they have been working continually on videos and productions of everything from Center of the Arts live performances to internal COVID videos. CAPA also worked with the clerk's office to establish online comment forums for council meetings and individually for all of the boards and commissions. The Chandler Fire Department took the lead, working with me and the executive team to develop the COVID pandemic plan and the phased return to work plan. Fire has worked through the EOC to answer the many questions, develop reports, attend the many meetings, and to make sure Team Chandler was kept as safe as possible. working with Central Supply and buildings and facilities, disinfection and PP&E kits for staff were developed. Facilities began and has continued to sanitize all of our city facilities and done deep sanitization when necessary. The second phase of the Public Safety Training Center was completed and the Firearms Training Unit moved into their new home. Forensics achieved their reaccreditation and an upgrade to the 911 system was also completed. This contemporary 911 system, in use by only 3 agencies nationwide, includes a phone tree for callers placed on hold while dispatchers are on other calls. The system reroutes callers that do not need to speak to a dispatcher, reducing the emergency call volumes. In Public Works, we have implemented a new water management tool that assists HOAs in large commercial landscapes to compute water usage based on actual water needs for the various types of landscape plants, including turf, for each month of the year. It generates the cost of the water based on Chandler water rates and shows the results in gallons, dollars, and easy-to-read graphics. The benefit being that they can better manage their water in those HOA areas and in those where we have large landscaping. We have implemented a new scheduling program citywide where we have customer interaction, and that has also been implemented for residential solid waste and the pickup of bulk recycling. With the pandemic and the stay-at-home order, we actually saw an increase in the honeydew list out there, and we saw an increase of 300 tons per month at our Recycle Solid Waste and Collection Center for both the months of March and April. With the pandemic, the library moved to many innovative programs, including the TAPT program, where they connected with our local craft brew pubs. They launched a social media campaign with local celebrities and initiated a State 48 partnership, making merchandise available for purchase at the library, and that will benefit the Friends of the Chandler Public Library. The Makery was launched at the downtown library that includes opportunities for community members to use this makerspace production studio, building digital literacy skills with available media creation tools in an inclusive learning environment. Recreation has worked to produce fitness videos to encourage the community to remain active during the stay-at-home order. And I don't know about y'all, but one more yoga pose just really makes me kind of sore out there. Recreation launched the first esports tournament on May 13th, and we had 61 total participants. It was very successful. There has also been virtual personal training sessions. Cultural Development launched the virtual walking tour, and we have been providing digital content, including live music and performances, historic tours, and online family movie nights. We also launched the Dine in the Park to support the local restaurants during COVID. Other external improvements in innovation and technology included implementing Invoice Cloud to accommodate online payments, including Apple Pay and Google Pay. Development Services worked with IT to launch text messaging scheduling for construction inspections. This is the first in the state for use of text scheduling in this capacity and one of the first cities nationwide to offer this service. CAPA and IT launched the COVID hotline and call center to manage increased calls from our residents and businesses, and IT created individualized online appointment scheduling by department to assist in the transition of opening programs and facilities. There have been so many things launched internally and not all for COVID. We have implemented a new electronic citywide performance management tool called LEAF. This program allows employees to track training and for employees and supervisors to initiate performance goals and objectives to do their annual evaluation. It also hosts our value alerts when employees perform above and beyond as Team Chandler members. I can't say enough about IT over this last year. They worked 24/7 to increase the bandwidth to support over 700 employees working remotely, including the use of employees' personal computers since we were not equipped with citywide mobility, and have had to update security to accommodate that use. They also launched WebEx to provide virtual meeting spaces. We spent about a year mapping our agenda collection and production process, took the results to a council subcommittee, acquired the software, and are currently working with the vendor to produce an electronic agenda system like no other in the country. When complete, the council agenda will be tied to the strategic framework, council goals, and mapped by category. For the past couple of years, I've been wanting to create dashboards that give real-time statistics for many of the services that we provide. When Stephen Turner came on board in my office, and he is on vacation this week or he would be here, this was one of the major tasks that I gave him. Over the past several months, Stephen has been working to get demonstrations of off-the-shelf software systems But those ranged in cost from $75,000 up to $250,000. With budgets how they are, Stephen, along with our GIS staff from IT and Development Services, have been working to develop performance dashboards on our ArcGIS platform we already have available. Stephen's been working with departments to begin building these dashboards, and when complete, they will reside on our website for citizens and managers to access. I want to take just a minute to show you a little bit of what's been done so far. So I've got two examples here. This is community services for recreation and aquatics. And just to give you an idea, you can see there, kind of to a little bit to your left, the Tumbleweed Rec Center annual visitors, 215,458. But what's neat about this is you can tell 2020 is down for obvious reasons because of the pandemic. But you can now also see the history of visitors to Tumbleweed Rec Center, and you can tell where those things have dipped or declined, and a detail as to why it happened. Once for the rec center was when we reinstalled the floors in the exercise area, and then of course with the pandemic. Another example, the Chandler Tennis Center participation in the bottom right, 10,594 as the current number. You can see 2020 down, but you click one more time on the history and you can see where council actually closed the tennis center in 2020, along with the detail as to why that happened. So going forward, these kind of things are going to be great tools, and our citizens will be able to access this as well. I'm going to give you one more example. So that's a soft service. So we'll look at police department. Done a little differently, and obviously police collect their data, but if you zoom in to the map here, see if I can find Josh's house. Anyway, you can come up, these are all of the calls and incidences that have happened. And so if you click on one of those little blue dots, it's going to give you the actual call for service, what happened there. And this one was, as you can see, reported as a disorderly conduct, and how it was and when it was closed out, and the response times and everything else for each one of these incidents. So our citizens will be able to see everything going on around them. We also have a rolling response time by beat. So you've got the current and the history by beat, and a variety of other things on this screen that's going to be very good for anyone to use. The calls for service by beat there as well. We have 18 beats, and you can see those bars there. But in history, you can see in 2020, as the chief has said, the call volume went down with the pandemic, and so there it is. So very cool. And we'll be working with all the departments to get all of this set up on our website once it's completed and completely ready to go live. Any questions
Mayor?
about that before
Mayor?
I go on?
Councilmember Orlando.
Thank you, Mayor. So what's the time frame for this to be online?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Orlando, it is going to take, we're going to probably try to put these on a few at a time as they're complete with those different areas. But I will tell you, this is a very short time frame that these have been put together. So they should start loading up here, I would say probably in the next quarter. We'll start seeing these.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Mayor.
All right. Next, we're going to talk about mobility. So early this year, the council approved the updated master transportation plan. I was asked to participate with MAG on the Regional Transportation Plan Committee for City Managers, where we are assisting MAG in the preparation of the Regional Transportation Plan and the upcoming Prop 400 extension sales tax vote. We have made the transition from a high-cost, non-ADA paratransit trips that we talked to council about in October to a more affordable ride choice program, potentially saving the city dollars. On your agenda in July will also be the first mile, last mile contract with Lyft. This one's been a long time coming, but I appreciate staff being persistent in working with this contract to help it come to fruition. And again, more to come in July. We have installed 8 pickup and drop-off locations for the increased use of rideshare services and the future increase in autonomous vehicles in our downtown. And construction began on bike lanes on McClintock and Kyrene, and a study has begun on separated bike lanes for Price Road and Ocotillo. Design has begun on Alma School Road widening project. I know you have another contract or two on your agenda tonight, and the construction contract is planned to be on your July agenda for approval. Alma School widening will be constructed in conjunction with Gilbert Road to gain better pricing and with a construction manager at risk contract to provide us with the best flexibility to get these projects done timely. And I appreciate Public Works and Utilities Capital Project Team for getting these projects moving so quickly. Other projects completed in the last 6 months include Chandler Heights Road widening from Arizona to McQueen, Queen Creek from Gilbert to McQueen, and Price Road utility relocation for SRP's 230 kV, may we all say yay, and then the Price Road reclaimed water line project. At the airport, we have had the completion of phase 1 of the terminal apron rehab project and began the taxiway C rehab project. We've installed 160 grant-funded traffic detection cameras with bicycle detection with additional upgrades. Staff worked hard to receive $5.8 million in grants and federal closeout dollars from MAG to construct Fry Road protected bike lanes and 6 other transportation projects partially funded through this, including Alma School Road. There's been a lot of work going on in our neighborhoods, even amidst the pandemic. Council heard and gave direction last month on the city's first historic preservation ordinance. Staff also presented council with recommended changes for the regulation of short-term rental properties. We have partnered with other agencies to provide shelter for the most vulnerable in the community, and the annual action plan was approved by council, allocating the additional CDBG CV funds the city received. We opened the first online housing choice voucher program and received over 6,000 pre-applications for the wait list. During the pandemic, we partnered with Chandler Unified School District to provide 5,500 lunches to our public housing youth program. We've implemented wellness days in partnership with mental health professionals, and Wellness Wednesday is a collaboration with For Our City Chandler, Lighthouse Psychiatry, and the Chandler Coalition on Youth Substance Abuse. Chandler Fire, along with 45 volunteers, installed 91 smoke alarms during the smoke alarm walk in our neighborhoods. Staff has been working to redesign the Mayor on the Move event, and we'll be discussing the newly branded Envision program at an upcoming council subcommittee meeting. Quality of life encompasses so many things that we do. Economic Development hosted the 9th annual Science Spectacular with almost 50 companies participating. Traffic signal cabinets were transformed into art with a partner project between Economic Development, Cultural Development, the Arts Commission, and the businesses that are located in Uptown Chandler. There's nothing like a virtual bike ride, but our Transportation Policy Division pulled off a virtual family bike ride due to COVID, and we had almost 280 participants. Cultural Development prepared and hosted a number of events to celebrate Chandler's 100th year of incorporation, including a plaque on the sidewalk across from City Hall where the original City Hall stood. 2 mural projects were completed by Cultural Development in cooperation with the downtown businesses, and with council approval, the Chandler Museum Foundation was created. The feasibility study for the multi-generational facility was also launched. Cultural Development held Live at Lunch concert series in the downtown in order to continue activation of our downtown stage. We've completed 4 multi-use fields at Tumbleweed and completed the renovation of Summit Point Park. Additional sand volleyball courts are currently under construction at Chiparosa Park, and an update to the park strategic master plan is underway, and the virtual public meeting on that, the first one was held this past Tuesday. In order to provide a future quality of life, we've stored almost 6,000 acre-feet of Colorado River water underground in the past 6 months. Fire provided guidance to care home facilities beginning this past March to make sure that they were prepared for the COVID pandemic. And as you know, police worked diligently to make sure the recent protests in our city were and remained peaceful. The past 6 months, we completed general obligation bond and tax revenue obligation bond sales. We have recovered $1.2 million in city sales tax working with our partners at the Department of Revenue, and hundreds of hours were spent preparing the fiscal year 2021 budget, including revising revenue forecast and redeveloping the original budget due to COVID. We have been tracking costs for reimbursements through FEMA and other grant opportunities. With school not going back in regular session after spring break, Community Services provided kids camp for employees for 2 months so we could have all staff available during the pandemic. Human Resources developed many policies and procedures related to the pandemic, and I just signed the telework administrative regulation that will prepare the city for the future workforce. be very difficult to include all the statistics for every department. We'll put a few here. I'm not going to go through each of these, but if there are any questions or anyone has anything that is watching this possibly, feel free to give the city a call. Be happy to address those. Many statistics are also included in the annual report, which was also published in January. The last 6 months, we've continued to receive many awards and accolades. I'm not going to read this list, but as you can see, almost every department continues to be recognized both at the state level and nationally for the great work that's going on in each of those departments. And with that, Mayor and Council, as you know, it's been a challenging 6 months. And so Team Chandler has risen to the occasion in every area, including the pandemic, the protests, budget, and anything else that was on top of our normal city service delivery. So I do appreciate that, and I want to thank the staff and everything that's gone into this. And with that, see if you have any questions.
And to those who are watching, again, I didn't quite explain this at the beginning, but we put in a strategic plan, what would have been a year and a half ago, and from that, we asked the city manager to give us 6-month updates. So this is the second of the 6-month updates after our formulating our strategic plan a year and a half ago. There's a lot of good things in here, a lot of good reports, a lot of things that have furthered the plan that we put together. We can see that certainly staff has taken this as directions, and with that, I would like to ask Council, do you have any questions of our city manager? Councilmember Rowe.
Thank you, Mayor. While it was a very quick presentation, it was a great presentation, and it's a good reminder of the many things that have gone on over the past 6 months. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Any additional comments? Councilmember Orlando. I feel like I have to shout.
So yeah, great presentation, great work by staff. So take us back to the process a little bit. We have someone that's monitoring this process. We have several action packages going along here. How many are still open, and where are we at as far as completing all the original objectives that you set back, a year and a half ago?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Orlando. So honestly, I don't have it right here in front of me. I was going to update council later and be happy to update the public on exactly where we are with those very specific things that came out of the council retreat a year ago, February. And so there are a number of them that are complete. There are many that are well underway, such as Park Strategic Master Plan, the zoning code changes, those things that are now kind of wrapping up. But for a year's worth, there's been a lot of things that's moved forward, and be happy to discuss those, and we can get those out in a better format for the public if you would like.
So do you feel I know obviously COVID interrupted a lot of activity, but do you feel we're on target to complete these things in a reasonable time? Are we stretching them out? What's your general feel of, again, the metrics? Are we measuring a lot of good stuff, obviously, but.
Right. So Mayor, Councilmember Orlando, definitely, like I said, there were those particular things that came out of the city council retreat. I think that we are considering what's happened in the last few months, a very good job in delivering on those specific requests. There are some that take longer than others because of the type of project that it is. There are a few that we don't have budget for, and so those obviously are on hold, such as the downtown Dr. A.J. Chandler Park discussion, which council, we pushed that out through the budget process. So some of those we're still waiting, but for the most part, things have been moving along very well, and I think you'll be pleased when you see the report here in a little bit.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
To move into an exec session, and so City Attorney, I'm not used to this format. We're out here and then there. Do we set an exec session here and then go there, or do we do that when we're in there?
Mayor, I recommend that you vote to go in exec session here at the dais, and then assuming that's a positive vote, then you go forward into the other room.
All right, council, I would entertain a vote that we move into exec session.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
And second, all in favor say yes.
Aye.
All right. We'll be back out here for our council meeting a little later.